But we were founded 15 years ago. I was founded with Zuri Group 15 years ago, have been there ever since, and just enjoyed working with nonprofit clients over that time. So let us know if we can help in any way. We are full partners. So we've heard lots about artificial intelligence through this whole conference, but I'm not going to talk about that because other people can talk about that, and that was really loud. I am sorry, because it scared me as well. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about other things that we as humans are doing. Some of them are quite simple. Some of them are not innovative. They're just things and common things that we can be doing to achieve our goals using the platform. So what are those? Natural intelligence, 100% human. So I took a little screenshot of all the speakers that you've seen throughout this conference because they are human. These people are not robots. They are not artificial intelligence, but rather you've learned a lot from them in the last 2 days. So we're just going to talk about a few things, opt-in strategies, user experience and UX changes, small things that you can do that sometimes make a big impact. Thinking ahead about things, some digital integrations. So what I'm talking about there is those kind of real-time presentation layer integrations that can help you get your data where you need to go or provide a different experience. Some acquisition techniques, and okay, yeah, maybe some bigger data kind of, opportunities that might involve some robots of some kind, maybe. All right. So let's just talk about very simple opt-in strategies. Opt-ins are so simple that they're crazy complicated, right? It's just this opt-in. That's all there is. And I don't know how many hours I've spent with organizations trying to get their brain around the engaging networks opt-in. It's just one, it's on or off, but it can get kind of complicated. And trying to think up a strategy that works when you have maybe a bunch of different newsletters, or you want to make sure that people can opt out instead of opting in appropriately, it can get kind of complicated. So just recently working with these following organizations, I think we finally nailed it, in how we should be setting that up after kind of messing that up, really, or overcomplicating it over the years a little bit. And this is where I wish I could go to the browser for the screenshot I forgot to get to add to the PowerPoint. So visualize it. So basically we created just a master opt-in, right? This one is the only one that is going to the CRM. This is our opt-in or opt-out. It's just one master. That's our legal opt-in, opt-out. And then we're offering a full list of other subscriptions. Types of newsletters, even if you don't even have a bunch of different emails that you're sending out, you offer that one other, get on our email list. It's separate from that master, okay? We hide the master and default it to yes when someone's signing up, so that if they sign up for one of your list items, they're automatically a yes on the master. And then send all of your opt-outs to that manage preferences page, where they have the option to choose individual ones, or at the bottom, get out of everything. You're flipping that master opt-in to an opt-out. Logically on the form, do it with JavaScript, do it with dependencies, and it's nice and smooth and managed, and you know that you're not going to be mailing people when they actually opted out because they opted in for, or opted out of this one and not that one, and it can get kind of complicated. I think the screenshot would be very helpful, but I don't have it. So just use your imagination, and we can send that along later. But sitting down and trying to think logically when you're planning those, I don't know. I know you're all like, what's the big deal? But come on, you've been in those meetings where everybody's like, wait, is that an opt-in or an opt-out? And what does yes and no really mean? And then, of course, if you name the opt-in, opt-out, or unsubscribe, then people get even extra confused. So there's a whole double negative there that happens. Other strategies, so something cool for an organization that has kind of multiple newsletter offerings or even a membership is right there on the donation form. They put in how much they want to give, pop up, and we just have a little line that says, oh, if you give $10 more, you're a member and you can get this, you'll be on this official list, you'll get this extra thing. So it's little things like that can increase and opportunity to engage more people. This is blocking the screen. Okay. And like I said, you can do this. These aren't complicated things. They're complicated in thinking about them, but implementing a little bit of JavaScript, not that hard. A few user interface, user experience things. So we all want to be innovative. Maybe, you don't want to reinvent the toaster either, okay? And first of all, people drop UI, UX, and I always get confused. Which one is it? Is this UX or UI? So I just put them both, and we'll call it both, okay? It's what they see and how they interact in their experience with the page, with it on their phone. Steve King, he's this famous web guru guy. He says, "Don't Make Me Think" was his book, and he just says, you don't want to design something that makes your users think. We all know a little bit what a donation page looks like. People have been trained by interfaces, by the web, on how it's supposed to work. And while we want to innovate and we want to find the ways that make it smoother, you don't want to reinvent that toaster. I don't know if you've ever walked up, maybe you're in an office or something, you go up to a microwave that you're like, where is the start button? And you're so frustrated. You're like, why did you reinvent the microwave? There's really no point. I just want to hit start and have it start. So when you're getting excited about something new, it's important to just kind of think about not breaking the common design standards and things that people are used to doing and expecting. When I go to a website, I am used to seeing that navigation on the top. I can kind of get used to a little bit if it maybe is on the right, maybe, or somewhere else, but it will take me a little bit more time to think about what I want to do. And maybe that's innovative, but maybe that isn't getting people to the information you want them to find. It's not serving your goal, unless your goal is to have someone think of your organization as the most design cutting edge. And maybe that is what your organization's mission is, let's say, and maybe that does suit that organization, but focus on those goals of what you want people to see or do. Might be donate, you might be an advocacy organization, or even one that just puts out a lot of communications and you need people to read the stories. Okay, so a couple of those, super simple. So I said, I don't have a lot of awesome, amazing content that's going to blow your mind, but super simple. Something we've been doing lately is on event forums. Because at attendee block, because they have to fill out their information twice, kind of, we just say right there, the person filling out this form is an attendee, and we pre-fill it, right? Yeah, it's a simple little thing, but make that easy for them because they'd have to fill that out twice. So. Yeah, and I accidentally printed in color this morning, which you're always like, oh, I meant to go black and white because you're just going to use the magenta. And then you won't be able to print in black and white or anything. It's been a tough day. I did break up these UX, UI things into just renovations, little things like that, just a little renovation to relevations. And this is a custom light box. It'd be great if it didn't have to be custom, so I'm working on that with Engaging Networks, but it's not a one-time to recurring. It's actually an amount. So you're giving this much amount one time, can you give this much more? Fixed amount. We also did it where we have a calculated amount. So based on how much their original gift is, we're gonna ask for, $10 more, or $20 more, and it goes straight to the payment page. Just a different kind of custom light box, just asking for a little bit more. Yeah, processes right away. Something you've probably seen that we've been doing on more and more sites is just a renovation. Is because Engaging Networks has this awesome chaining capability, and I'm sure you use it in different ways, chaining these pages together to get a different outcome. We have an embedded honor and memorial giving so that in the process of donating, if they choose honor and memorial, we embed the e-card choices. They can choose that card, and it all just happens in one payment. This saves organizations on delivering cards to people, delivering those notifications. It all goes straight through on the e-card, and it's all embedded in the same experience. And that's Clean Air recently. Mobile giving. I know another vendor has something similar, but we have this mobile giving experience. Let's just be honest. We copied Fundraise Up, okay? We copied their experience because we were thinking to ourselves, like, why are our awesome Engaging Networks clients thinking they need to go and get another platform just so because someone on the board likes the way the Fundraise Up form looks, right? We can do this in Engaging Networks, keep their data in Engaging Networks, keep it right into their data flow, keep their data, everything like that, and provide the same experience. So we have a modal giving that can be embedded on someone's website. It can launch from a donation button. It can launch on a timer, on a page, and provides that same kind of Fundraise Up experience, including like the abandonment message if they close it. Hey, you left something in your cart. So all the same thing, but staying on Engaging Networks. And yeah, I copied. Okay. All right, so I am going to be asking for questions or ideas soon because I want to hear about, and I hope you're thinking about like little cool things that you did. They don't have to be like the most amazing that you want to present about them next year for 40 minutes, but just some little things that you've done that others might be interested in that can just move a needle and solve some problems. So let's talk about digital integrations. These are those real-time things. A lot of you already do some of these, right? Some of you don't. We recently put in a phone number validation for a client. So as someone enters their phone number, we're using the Twilio API. Okay, we hit the Twilio API, we validate the phone number, and we get back from Twilio, whether it's a mobile phone or a home phone. We're storing that in an untagged field, it's coming through, or maybe in one of the other fields, it's coming through, it's going into the integration, into their core CRM, so they know, hey, this is a valid mobile phone. That information. Of course, we've all seen really great address validation done on the presentation layer through various tools. It can be really helpful. Also, geolocation services. You've probably seen sites, pages that are using this maybe to set a currency or auto set the country kind of thing. And then, of course, I don't think a lot of people have really turned on and set up the Twilio integration into their accounts yet to really think about how to use the SMS tools. And even if you're not using the SMS tools, even just using them for the click to call and things like that. So now's the time. Like, it's a great initiative to get more involved in it and start doing that kind of thing on the front end. These are a few clients that we did this work for. A couple others. So just this past, I think it was this spring, Lori Children's had a Pedalpalooza, which was a peer-to-peer event for people cycling, and we were able to integrate Strava fitness tracker into the Engaging Networks peer-to-peer site. And so people, every time they track to Strava, their miles would show up on their page on how many miles. And I think the goal was, Pedalpalooza was just for 1 month, and the goal was to ride, I think, 500 miles that month or something and raise a certain amount. And so having kind of both incentives there. We also created a leaderboard on the site of the Strava data so everyone could see who was like riding the most and achieving those goals. Not super difficult integration-wise to do, and there might be other kind of things like that that would work for your organization, other kinds of tools that you're like, this would really motivate people, and it's just a front-end digital integration to make that happen. Joe and Steph told me about this one, some stuff that we've done, but I know that like Mercy Home uses HubSpot for their marathon program. There's a whole bunch of different data they need there separate from their donor data, right? It's not something that they would be managing somewhere else. And so we have connected using the webhooks to their HubSpot so that when someone registers on peer-to-peer, like that data gets there. And then they can do their coaching emails and things out of HubSpot for those peer-to-peer, for those fundraisers. So little ways like that, that engaging networks, because of the open platform, enables you to really think about what kind of connections can we make in the presentation layer that are gonna make all this kind of magic happen. Also, I even talked to somebody this week about this, privacy management, right to be forgotten. There's companies out there, third party, that will provide you the code you need, the APIs you need to have them handle that for you and integrate that into your site, integrate it into your footer. You don't need any legal. They've got the legal, and worry less about that. And she's got her head down, but Joe can talk about it later, I suppose. Yeah. So to get to the little more complicated digital integration stuff, or as an example, PBS stations, right? There's 3 all that are coming live to our community here in the next, well, 1 or 2 already went, right? 2 went live and another one's coming live in the next month. They're all tapping into a live digital integration on their donation forms that will check and see if that person who qualifies based on their donation level for a Passport membership, PBS Passport, to watch your, what's your favorite show? Finding My Roots is mine. What's your favorite? Okay, Call the Midwife. If you want to get that Passport, we check Envault. Does this person already have an Envault account? If they don't, let's create one. But the goal here was the urgency of that. They called it instant gratification for people, right? They want to get their Passport, they want to get it now, but also use the ability for us to look them up in Roy, because Roy's got this great API, look them up, see if they exist, use their Roy family ID as the Envault ID, because it's really important to the organizations to have those IDs match for their data sync. So kind of solving some data sync problems, but doing it real time, and also achieving that kind of instant gratification that those donors are expecting. They just want their Passport. We also, of course, use the Engaging Networks API in that, because we got to look them up, see if they exist. They're already an Engaging Network supporter. Okay, so here's one where it probably would have helped to have a screenshot for this next one. All right. But I did hear some people talking about this today at lunch. You're using an Engaging Networks event form, and sometimes it's good that the attendees don't become supporters, because maybe those attendees are children, right, or something. But sometimes you actually want the attendees to be supporter records because you want to do a marketing automation for everyone who's coming to the event. So we kind of want them in there. So a recent digital integration that we've done is adding code in there to look up the person's email address that they put in the attendee. If they exist in Engaging Networks already, make a connection to this event, that they're an attendee on this event, right? And we're doing that by populating an untagged field with there's a string there on which events they're with a tilde, something so they can query and say contains, right, this event. If they don't, create a supporter record, create that link, and now they can set up their automation, and it's going to actually email everyone who's coming to the event, remind them of the upcoming dates, all that kind of stuff. So a little problem, and a small solution, but totally doable solutions, not huge solutions, but just thinking about things you can do, because these systems have these open APIs, and there's ways to kind of get your data where you need it to be. And then I dropped this one in here, bigger picture. Think about, like we were just talking about this, think about, I was just talking about this with Roy a little bit, because they kind of do this for WorldPay, you said already. Think about like your reconciliation with your payment gateways and Engaging Networks and your CRM. And let's say somebody does a chargeback in Stripe, like that's never getting back to Engaging Networks, and your numbers are off. So we've been exploring like using the Stripe webhooks to trigger when something like that happens, happens and get back and do your reconciliation. So with these open systems, there's ways to solve these problems that are kind of inherent. So that's just one that we've been kind of working on. Well, I've been working on right here, but not in real life. Okay, and then I forgot to change this header, but lots of talk about this over the last 2 days. Data, getting your data out into some staging tables somewhere, into a data warehouse, somewhere where you can put your BI tools on top of it. Maybe you're a Power BI, maybe you're a Tableau. But then you're thinking like, well, where am I gonna host that code though, right? So there's other integration tools. Mon's gonna talk about Zapier, I think, a little bit. There's so many options now that we could build the code using Zapier. That's gonna host the work and, move this stuff around for you to solve some of those reporting problems you have or needs, or bring your data together into some place that people can act on that data. Okay, we're going to talk about, I don't know, where am I going to put my questions for you? Nobody has any ideas for me? Okay. I do want to hear your little things. Okay, so acquisition techniques. This thing, we talked about this, I'm still, if TNC is still here, I'm still love this thing, and I still love to talk about it. I still haven't seen anyone else really do it, use a quiz for acquisition, because we all like to win, and we all like to get things right. So using a quiz, this bird quiz, asking people, guess the bird, and then, give us your information on the line. So I really love that. And then we did touch on it a little bit yesterday. I think someone in one of the sessions talked about TikTok and how TikTok has a great panel for the collection and acquisition. And I just wanted to, it looks like that bullet, on its move to Google Slides, it kind of messed up the bullet. Hopefully you can see it. But this is some stats I pulled from a recent study, like how do we let other people know about our organization? They need to know about us. They need to start following us. And there are so many different places now, and it's a great thing that you can go and have them and build awareness about your organization. And you can see that 18% of Gen Z want to check you out, and 79% find about social causes through social media. 79%, that's how they're finding out about them. So you need to be there and make sure they're finding out about you on those other platforms. Yes. And then this is another big thing. Think about what Graham went over on day one, accessible intelligence. It's kind of a data co-op, right? Everybody's going to put their data in there, and he's calculating and doing algorithms based on all this data that he's building, and he's appending data, right? Because they're going to classify it and put you in. But there's that, and there's this, I pulled another one. There's many of these on the market, the Digital Co-op, which is a Mission Wired product. They're sponsors as well. But it's something to think about. It's a big move, but think about joining a data co-op where you give your data in and you're gonna get this intelligence back, and you can use these tools for acquisition. They're proving to be very successful. It's just newer things out there, something to consider. Apparently though, there have been data co-ops like for direct mail in the past, for a long time, but these are kind of more focused in certain areas for the digital side. So we start now. What I'd like to do is hear about some of your cool little things that are not artificial intelligence. This one is my one that's like, yeah, okay, kind of artificial intelligence, right? This one is kind of machine learning. And I wrote some down from our meeting, but I can't find it now. So anybody have anything that they're thinking is just like, hey, we do this and other people might want to know about it? You're supposed to be my plant, Brandon. Thank you.
Hello. One of the things that we have a partner who does these annual requests for proclamations. So like county proclamations, city proclamations. This day is Therapy Animal Day. And one of the things that they have is this army of volunteers who bring their therapy animals to like hospitals and schools, and it's a really cute and great. And to personalize these proclamation requests, we add questions, like EN questions, onto the forms, and it says things like, tell us about the animals that you volunteer with. And so you can like say, like, I've got a cat or a bird or a miniature horse or something, and what is your animal's name, and how long have you been volunteering with this animal, and what kind of facilities do you volunteer in, and just like ask all these things. And then we have the proclamation request letter that goes to the mayor or the city council member, and we merge in your responses into that letter. So it says like, hi, my name is, Susan, and I volunteer with my miniature horse, Larry, at the like Woodlands Elementary School in Longwood, Florida, or whatever. And I, would love if you would introduce a proclamation declaring April 21st or whatever, National Therapy Animal Day. And then at the bottom, we have the actual proclamation language, like suggested proclamation language, and we merge in the city or the county's name into that. So it's super easy for these mayors to do this. And it's kind of like a Mad Libs, and we offer up the letter.
Mad Libs for good.
Yeah, we like offer the letter up for them to edit as the last step in the process before they submit it. And it has been like an insanely overwhelming success for them. Like they get emails back from mayors thanking them and like inviting them to come to the signing, and then we can bring media to come, and then we follow up with these counties and cities for like, they want therapy animal standards as like one of their advocacy goals, and so we use those relationships later on for follow-up. And it's just been like a small thing, but we've now done this for 4 years, and people love it. They love answering the little questions about their animals that they volunteer with and stuff. So it's just like, you can offer questions on the page. If you have this issue of how do we get people to personalize their advocacy letters to Congress or whatever, you can use questions to try to encourage them to include why do I care about this cancer, or how has my family been impacted by MS or something, to personalize their letter.
I like it. I thought you were going to top it. Oh, good. Okay. Yay, we're out of time. I mean, darn, we're out of time, folks. Darn. There's the robot.